Imagine this. You leave your child in the care of your parents, trusting them completely. But then you come home to find out they've fed your kids something so shocking, so outrageous, that it changes everything. Burnt meat. Not just a little charred, but completely blackened, almost unrecognizable. What would you do? How would you react? And what happens next? Well, buckle up, because this story is about to take you on a wild ride of family drama, unexpected twists, and a lesson that no one saw coming. Stick around, because you won't believe what happened next. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one of those tales that starts off with something seemingly small, like a piece of burnt meat, but spirals into something much bigger. It's a story about family, trust, and the unexpected consequences of our actions. So grab a snack, hopefully not burnt, get comfortable, and let's dive into this roller coaster of a story. I've noticed only 98% of you who watch haven't subscribed. Come on guys, show some love and support. Thanks a bunch to those who have already subscribed. It all started on a typical Saturday morning. My husband and I had been planning a weekend getaway for months, and finally the day had arrived. We were excited, but also a little nervous. You see, we were leaving our 5-year-old son, Ethan, with my parents for the weekend. Now don't get me wrong, my parents are wonderful people. They've always been there for us, and they adore Ethan. But like any grandparents, they have their own way of doing things. And sometimes their way isn't exactly our way. Before we left, I gave my mom a detailed list of Ethan's meals for the weekend. I'm a bit of a health nut, so I had everything planned out. Organic fruits, whole grains, lean proteins. You get the picture. My mom nodded along, but I could see that look in her eye. The one that said, "I've raised kids before. I know what I'm doing." I decided to let it go. After all, it was just a weekend. How much could really go wrong? The incident. Fast forward to Sunday evening. We were driving back home, exhausted but happy. As we pulled into the driveway, I noticed something strange. The kitchen light was on, and through the window, I could see my mom standing at the stove, frantically waving a towel. My dad was sitting at the table, looking guilty. And Ethan? He was sitting in his high chair, happily munching on something that looked, well, it looked like charcoal. I walked in, and the smell hit me first. It was the unmistakable scent of burnt meat. Not just a little overcooked, but completely charred. I looked at my mom, who was now trying to hide the pan behind her back. "What's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. My mom hesitated, then sighed. "Well, we were trying to make Ethan's favorite, grilled chicken, but we got distracted and, well," she gestured to the pan, which was now in full view. The chicken was blackened, almost to the point of being unrecognizable. I looked at Ethan, who was still happily eating it, as if it were the most delicious thing in the world. I was stunned. How could they feed him that? Didn't they know how bad burnt meat could be? I felt a mix of anger and worry bubbling up inside me, but before I could say anything, my dad chimed in. "It's not that bad," he said, trying to lighten the mood. "We scraped off the burnt parts, mostly." The fallout. That night, after my parents left, I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. I was furious. How could they be so careless? I knew they loved Ethan, but this was just irresponsible. I spent the next few days researching the effects of burnt meat, and what I found only made me more anxious. Burnt meat contains carcinogens, chemicals that can increase the risk of cancer. I felt like I had failed as a parent, letting my child eat something so harmful. I decided to confront my parents. I called them over, and as soon as they walked in, I could tell they knew why they were there. I laid it all out, how worried I was, how dangerous burnt meat could be, and how I felt like they had betrayed my trust. My mom looked down, clearly upset. "I'm so sorry," she said. "We didn't know. We just thought, well, we thought it was fine." My dad, on the other hand, was defensive. "Come on, it's not like we poisoned him," he said. "We've all eaten burnt food before, and we're fine." I was about to respond when Ethan walked in. He had been listening from the hallway, and now he stood there, looking at all of us with his big innocent eyes. "Why is everyone mad?" he asked. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about the burnt meat. It was about trust, about communication, about understanding each other's perspectives. I realized that while my parents had made a mistake, they hadn't done it out of malice. They were just doing what they thought was best, based on their own experiences. The resolution, we sat down as a family and talked it out. I explained why I was so concerned about Ethan's diet, and my parents shared their own experiences raising me. We realized that we all wanted the same thing, for Ethan to be happy and healthy. We just had different ways of getting there. In the end, we came up with a plan. My parents agreed to be more careful with Ethan's meals, and I agreed to be more understanding of their perspective. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Because at the end of the day, family is about more than just the mistakes we make. It's about how we come together to fix them. The twist. But here's the thing. This story doesn't end there. A few weeks later, something unexpected happened. Ethan, who had always been a picky eater, suddenly started trying new foods. He asked for vegetables, he ate his fruits without complaining, and he even tried fish for the first time. I was shocked. When I asked him why he was suddenly so adventurous, he looked at me and said, "Grandma said I should try new things, even if they look yucky, because sometimes they're really good." I couldn't believe it. The burnt meat incident, which had caused so much tension, had actually led to something positive. It had opened up a dialogue between us, and in the process, it had helped Ethan become more open-minded about food. It was a reminder that sometimes the things we think are disasters can turn out to be blessings in disguise. The lesson. So what's the takeaway from all of this? Well, it's simple. Life is messy. We make mistakes. We hurt the people we love. And sometimes things don't go according to plan. But that's okay. What matters is how we handle those mistakes, how we learn from them, and how we grow as a result. This experience taught me that communication is key. It's easy to jump to conclusions, to assume the worst. But if we take the time to talk things out, we can often find a solution that works for everyone. It also taught me that sometimes the things we worry about the most, like a piece of burnt meat, can lead to unexpected positive outcomes. So what do you think? Have you ever had a similar experience with your family? Maybe it wasn't burnt meat, but something else that caused tension and then led to a surprising resolution. I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. This experience taught me that communication is key. It's easy to jump to conclusions, to assume the worst, but if we take the time to talk things out, we can often find a solution that works for everyone. It also taught me that sometimes the things we worry about the most, like a piece of burnt meat, can lead to unexpected positive outcomes.